We are grateful for this day, yes. Every day is a gift. And of course, being grateful is something very, very important. It's the morning show, Good Morning Abuja, on NT Channel 5, the Unity Station. I trust you had a fantastic night rest. This is a brand new day. A day to make it right. A day to correct the mistakes of yesterday. A day to push forward. I mean, you're moving on to a better day. Yes, you are. Welcome on board. It's the morning show. Of course, it's the best way to start your day. And my name is Oloma Ibe. We are starting off with our motivational talk. Let's get motivated. When we come back, there's exercise, there's feature, there's conversation. There's so much more for you. Please grab a seat.
If all Black women started a self-love journey, we could heal generations. Black women, did you know you can heal? Did you know you can feel? Did you know you can cry and completely surrender to the tears that are falling out of your eyes? Did you know that the trauma and pain that you've experienced isn't essentially normal? It's just been normalized. Did you know you don't always have to be strong, push through and carry on, but most importantly, did you know that you are not alone? Because I didn't. I didn't know it was okay to not be okay. I didn't know I can cry and be vulnerable, and neither of them makes me weak. I didn't know I didn't have to always have it together. I didn't always have to have my life together, know what I was doing. I didn't know I can go to church and see, I didn't know that the strong Black woman is the healed Black woman. But I do now. Growing up, I looked up to the women in my family. They were like superheroes to me. They were beautiful, independent, and strong. When I grew up, I wanted to be just like them. I wanted to be a strong Black woman.
Thank you very much for success about your weight, your exercising, your fitness. It's something you need to be intentional about. So we help you every day of the week on Good Morning Abuja to make you exercise and keep fit. So that time has come again for you to keep fit. It is time for exercise.
Us to say our goodbyes on the program. As usual, I remain your host of the most, Omaride with Erese, and I'll always be here with my bestie.
Je m'appelle Oguntayo Olampasi Justina.
Speaking French now, from Jordan to Sweden.
Adios.
So you're welcome back from that break. This is still Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. Guests who just stepped in, Engineer Abayomi Onosoya, the man that likes talking business, agriculture, money, and so much more. He's here to have an interesting conversation with us. And this morning, our conversation will focus on export development, a tool for national growth. I would like to learn from this. Good morning, Engineer Abayomi. Good morning,
sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. So when I saw this topic, I was actually looking forward because I know how you like to dissect things. Let's get straight into this conversation. What does it mean to say export development? What aspects? What do you mean by that?
All right. Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. Thank you for having me. Export basically means selling what you have to the rest of the world in order to earn an income. I mean, to put it in a layman's terms.
Yes.
And a country like Nigeria, 200 million plus people, it's important for us to be able to earn a lot of money. And not just Naira, I'm talking foreign currency.
Dollars.
And in order for our currency to improve, we need to sell a lot more to the rest of the world. And luckily enough, we have a whole lot of things that the whole world wants. And in order for us to be that great country that we all dream of, we need to start exploring those avenues. And then one of the ways of doing that is developing that sector, developing our natural resources so that it becomes attractive for the rest of the world to buy. So that's export development in a nutshell. But then it's much more complex. And of course, if we have time today, we'll be dissecting some of those opportunities and how an average Nigerian can get on board this export development drive.
Now, when you say this sound like something that the government needs to do, how can an ordinary Nigerian, a fish seller in the market, how can they buy into this exporting? Because it looks like it's something that is for the rich, in quotes.
Well, it will shock you to know that export development is not an issue of rich or poor. In fact, those big nations we look at today, they built those empires based on small businesses. You see, small businesses drive every economy across the world.
It does.
And in terms of who's responsible for export development, it's a partnership that has to happen between the government and the average Nigerian, you see. And I'm happy you mentioned fish. You know, I mean, to an average Nigerian, when you say export, the first thing that comes to mind is, it's for the rich guys, for the big companies and all that, but it's not true. And let's use the fish person as an example. In Nigeria, when you say fish, what comes to mind is catfish. And then you see a lot of people, I mean, I will estimate thousands and thousands of people who do the fish business, roasting, fish ponds and what have you. But unfortunately, we've not even explored the export capability of that fish sector. And what do I mean by this? To export fish has to be processed in certain ways, which means the fish seller, the fish pond owner has to understand how this export process works. And in fact, some of these fish, catfish that we have, has very good export markets in Asia, especially Japan. And of course, Germany and the US and the rest of it. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, I was still talking to someone about this who wanted to export catfish, and I had to take that person through the entire process. The first step is, first you need to ensure that the fish, your fish farm is registered with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security under the Fisheries Department to ensure that your fish pond is certified okay, you know, for those markets. And after that, then your catfish has to be processed in a certain way before it can now become an exportable commodity. And unfortunately, this is the mistake, and I want people to listen to this. A lot of people will say, oh, I want to export my catfish to London, to whatever. But the problem is, it's a gamble. You know, you may send maybe one box of fish to your auntie in London. It gets through because it's person to person. But your mistake will now start when you start exporting from yourself to a whole lot of people. Then it becomes a problem. That's why you see a lot of consignments being seized in America and Australia. The problem here is how it's processed. Because many Nigerians don't understand that catfish, you cannot export catfish with all the gills and all the head. And someone funnily told me, he said, the head is the most delicious part of the fish, which is interesting. But the point is, on the export market, you cannot do that because the head of the fish, all the gills and the rest is where all those bacteria actually stays, and it could carry disease. So if you want to export to Europe and America, you have to get rid of the head, unfortunately. And another thing you have to do is the way you process it. The fish has to be in a fillet form. Fillet forms, you remove the skin, you put it into slices. Plain slices where you can actually see the meat of the fish. And then it has to be processed, not in the old, like we say in Hausa, the gura way. No, it has to be done properly. It has to be done with machines. It has to be dried, you know, with an electric oven, or if you're using a charcoal oven, you have to ensure that the particles of the charcoal doesn't get on the fish. It has to be hygienic, and after doing that, it has to be certified okay by the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Only then can we export to the rest of the world. This is the missing key for a whole lot of Nigerians who has been dreaming of exporting catfish. And every corner you go, someone is raising fish left, right, and center. And we need to learn some of these little tricks in order for us to become that fish exporting country like Vietnam and some other nations across the world. But the market is massive. Not just catfish. We're talking about different varieties of fish we can find in the south. You go to Bonny Island, even shrimps. And let me shock you. The tiger shrimps that you and I have in the riverine areas are worth billions of dollars across the world. But we're not exploring those capacities. In order for us to do that, two things, the private sector and the government. First, the private sector needs to understand how these things has to be done in order for it to be acceptable in France, in Germany, and Japan. Which means the moment you harvest, it has to be cleaned properly. You have to remove the gills and the other whatever, and then frozen on the spot. And then once it's frozen on the spot, it now becomes a commodity that we can earn millions of dollars from. And let me shock you, only 1 or 2 companies in Nigeria are doing this on a large scale, and which opens up a lot of room for other players to come into this market. And then on the government side, the government has to handle the policy side of things. And this is what I have been advocating for the last 5 years, because the role of export development you know, the government needs to open up new markets for us, which basically means sending our commercial attaches and our embassies across the world to negotiate with some of these companies and say, listen, Nigeria has so and so and so potential. Give us a try. Let us try to export some of these samples of our fish to your country and this and that. Create that bridge. And once the bridge is constructed, then we know the private sector who has been taught how to process their commodities are ready to export. So the technical part is the people, and then the bridge part is the government. So the government has to create
let's talk about the policy gap now.
Okay.
On the side of the government, what are the policy gaps that are stopping Nigeria from becoming an export-led economy?
First of all, we've not implemented international standards in the way our food is being processed. And again, I like to use examples. If you go to an average market in Nigeria, you go to Zuba, you go to Wuse, for example, you see the way food is being handled. This is not according to international standards. You see food being put on the floor, you see, you know, dirty markets and all that. So government needs to say, you know what, we need to start making our food so hygienic that it is acceptable to the rest of the world, which means they have to implement a policy of clean food right from the source, so that as the guy is harvesting or is processing his food, is following international standards just like they do in France, in Germany and the US. So the government has a whole lot of campaigning to do, a lot of partnership, organizations like ours to say, you know what, let's go to different markets, educate the market women, the farmers, so they know, for me to be able to earn $100 from this fish instead of 100 naira, I have to do this and this. I have to clean it very well. So policy is still lacking. And of course it can only be done in partnership with the private sector as well, by working with NAFDAC, Ministry of Agriculture and a whole lot of other players to ensure that we know how it should be done. Once that is done, believe you me, Nigerians will be able to key into this and our economy will grow, because the potential is limitless, literally limitless. So there's a lot of sectors that we can explore.
Let's talk about person-to-person industrialization or collaboration. Will it work in this exporting thing?
Well, you don't necessarily have to collaborate with people, although I encourage collaboration. But the issue is that even if you are processing your food within your kitchen and it's according to national standards, you can sell to Germany. You don't have to have a large factory to export. This is one of the things we've been campaigning about, to say, guys, listen, first understand how things are being done. If you understand that, then that little space you have, that little farm you have, can be an exporter to the world. I give an example. In Kenya, there are some people, mango processors, you know, they only, in fact, their factory is not as big as this studio. Very small, but what they do is they know the processes. They've been taught by their government. They take the mangoes from the farmers, they wash it according to standard, use acceptable chemicals and detergents, and then the mangoes are sliced, dried, and being exported to the whole of Europe, even as far as Australia. So you don't need to be big to be an expert. All you need to do is know the processes. And of course, a time will come where you have to scale. And that's why I love this question you posed, because eventually we will need some big players to handle logistics and storage for you to be able to export food commodities. Because one of the sectors that I think we have an advantage in is the food sector as a primary economy, which basically means we need players. We need something called export pack house. An export pack house is a certified facility where food are being processed according to international standards for onward export. So that means 2-3 persons can come together and set up an export pack house for around maybe 100 million naira, for example. We have one in every local government. So as the commodities are being harvested, they bring it to us directly. We process according to what the Australians want, what the Americans want, and then we are able to export all these commodities across the world. So yes, partnership basically works.
Okay, interesting. We are still talking with Engineer Bayomi, and this is an interesting conversation. I'm sure you're learning. I mean, you are learning. We want to call for a break now. When we come back, he's still here to answer more questions as always. So keep it here with us.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
In the 14th century.
This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
Back from that breeder, we're still talking export development, a tool for national growth. If you're just joining this conversation, You're not late, you're here. So Engineer Bayomi, he's still talking to us on how the export is being done and all of that. Let's talk about the product that can be exported. You've mentioned fish. What else can be exported?
The interesting thing is every state in Nigeria has something to offer the world, not necessarily Nigeria. I mean, let's pick one or two states, for example. Let's say Niger State. Niger State has cashew, and they also have shea butter.
Shea butter.
Or shea nuts. And of course, we all know that all the cosmetics industry in the world, they require shea butter for
yes,
their processing. And we can create a massive export empire for small businesses in Niger State by creating small processing centers for shea butter into semi-processed shea butter for onward blending in the UK, in France, and other parts of the world.
Nice.
And cashew also. Cashew is the new gold when it comes to gluten-free food, because over in the Western nations, people are beginning to move to this healthy lifestyle. People begin to talk about gluten and all that, and of course some people are allergic to milk and all that. So cashew is being used for a whole variety of things, from snacks to cashew milk to, I mean, name it, you understand. So cashew is there, shea butter is there. We can move to places like Oyo State, for example. Oyo State has lots of gemstones, and they have a particular gemstone called tourmaline, which Nigeria is particularly known for. A single carat of tourmaline, which is 0.2 grams, is around $100 or so, even as high as $500, you see. So an average Oyo State person can decide to say, you know what, I want to go into gemstone value addition. When the miners bring the gemstones out, you cut it, you polish it, and then you export to the rest of the world, to Antwerp and other city centers across the world. And of course, even FCT here is littered with lithium. Lithium is the energy of the future. Any electric car, any battery, solar, whatever, needs lithium. And lithium is one raw material that everybody needs, and Abuja has a lot of it, and some other states of the Federation like that. And of course, when you move to the food commodity sector, you discover that mangoes can be used for concentrates or even dried as a snack. You understand? Just
dried?
Like that. Oh yes, dried mango. In fact, pineapple. In fact, those are some of the innovations we've done. In fact, we've even done pineapple biscuits.
That's a dried mango.
Oh yes, it's very delicious. And if you're excited about mango, then you should be excited about watermelon. In fact, there's something called watermelon biscuit that we developed, 100% watermelon, which is super delicious. But I'm getting hungry now. Yes, natural.
It sounds yummy.
Oh, it is. You see, and a whole lot of other creative products that we can create from all the agricultural commodities that we have in Nigeria. And the list goes on and on. You go to Enugu, they have coal that needs to be properly structured, mineral coal that can be, made, create a value chain that allows Nigeria to explore that industry to the fullest. So there's a whole lot that we can do. In fact, finished products is something that I'm encouraging people to do, because manufacturers now across the world, they don't want to go through the pain of employing people and all that. They just want the finished product they'll put on their shelves. So why not tap into the labor force that we already have in Nigeria and start doing finished products like natural snacks and refreshments? You understand? Because in Pakistan, India, that's what they do. They convert their juices into finished juices that people can just drink in Dubai and Qatar and other parts of the world. We can do the same. What about fashion industry? Fashion industry is so massive because Africans were very creative, especially with our fabrics. All those colorful fabrics we have. You see suits made with the combination of natural fabric and Ankara, or even Ankara suits. People love those things. People pay top dollar for Ankara, anything made for Ankara in America and the rest of the world. But somehow we're still here complaining there are no jobs. So these are some of the value addition that we need to start putting our fingers into and showing the world that yes, we have the capability. But of course, all this can only be possible if the right advocacy is done on the government side. The government needs to invest a lot of money in marketing made in Nigeria to the rest of the world. You go to Haba, you see shoes, fantastic shoes that can outlast any Italian shoe anytime, any day.
Whoa.
Our bags, anything leather. You go to Haba. We need to start telling the world to say, you know what, America, there's something called made in Haba shoe, and you show them samples. You let them try it out, and of course, negotiate supply agreement with some of these stores, those big retail chains, to say, you know what, we want to be supplying 100 containers of our shoes and our bags to your retail chains in America and the UK, and they will give it a try, and if it works, if people love it, before you know it, Haba becomes the shoe capital of the world, and the list goes on and on and on.
There was a policy on made in Nigeria products before.
Yes.
We don't know how far that has gone or what it's still doing, but let's come to the infrastructural building now. How can I'll still come back to this question. How can an average Nigeria tap into this? Most times you say, don't wait for the government. Government cannot do anything for you. From all the places you've mentioned, let's talk about the cashew in Niger, for instance. How can the person that has cashew farm, how can the person start making little steps?
All right.
How can the woman in Akure, for instance, that does tie and dye fabric, how can she start making little steps before the government will step in or someone will step in and help her? I have these fabrics for sale. I don't know what to do, how to export. I don't have the contact. How can they be beneficial of this export?
You know, there's a controversial statement that I am known for, is that there are buyers everywhere.
There are buyers everywhere.
What we lack is the product, which sounds weird, really, because oh yes, there are farmers in even here in Abuja that has cashew, but there are people in Australia dying for cashew. So there are a lot of people willing to buy cashew, for example, all over the world, by the way, because it's expensive. Maybe 50-60 grams per pack of cashews, around $50-60. You understand? And I had this personal experience myself when I first got back to Nigeria. We went to the supermarket. I mean, the first few weeks when I got back to Nigeria, and then I saw the bottle. It was around 1,600 naira at that time, and I was so excited. Like, if this bottle is 1,600, I took my calculator on the spot, calculated. Oh, this is around $3. And I was like, this is what I used to buy $70-80. Like, whoa, this is interesting. So the first step an average person can do is acquire knowledge.
Acquire knowledge.
What must I do to this cashew to make an Australian love my cashew, to eat my cashew? Which will now take you to the point of understanding that, okay, your cashew must be processed in certain ways. You will then begin to realize that cashew has different quality types. For example, the whole cashew, split cashew, white cashew, brown cashew, and in fact, they have codes for different cashews. That particular research will take you through that. Oh, so that means this cashew I have is code 111, for example. Okay, this is what I have. Okay, who buys code 111? Oh, there are processors in Vietnam that actually buys code 111. And then, okay, what must I do? What kind of machineries do I need to get? Oh, maybe I can start with my little dehydrator in my house. And then you move to the concept of, oh, I need to get NAFDAC registration. Oh, how much do I need? Oh, I can do it in 90 days. And then, oh, how do I package? And then you start answering those questions. You start ticking those boxes. And by the time you get to the bottom of the list, you discover that you're actually export ready. Then the next step is you start initiating contacts with those potential buyers in the UK, in Vietnam, and other places. Listen, I am based in Niger State. Oh, I can process 100 kg of high quality cashew in my house. I have NAFDAC, I know how to package. Shall I send you samples? Okay, please send us a sample. You send the samples, they love it. They say, oh, this is good. Can you increase your productivity? And before you know, that market begins to open up. So many people get afraid of getting started. So I would say just get started.
Get started.
Do a lot of research. Okay, what can I do with this product in my hand? Who buys it? And thank God for AI. AI will answer a lot of questions rather than the process we used to use it in those days. So once you get all those answers, and then we need to start now working with government for that advocacy. I keep saying we have a lot of missions across the world, and I believe that they can do a whole lot more, especially the commercial attaches and the business desks in our embassies, to create connections with those big buyers in those nations. In America, go to Walmart, go to all these guys and say, listen, we want to open up a market for Nigerian cashew, Nigerian product. Please, we will send samples. We'll send some of our Nigerian producers to send samples for your testing. And if you love it, let them sign long-term agreements with you. And before you know, we'll start earning dollars, and our Naira will become 1 Naira to $1.
Let's talk about how social media can help this great idea. For someone that is starting in the corners of their house, that do not have all the facility, they can just do it in their own way. Can social media do anything for them based on the fact that you said it must be standard? Like it has to be on a particular, like this is the standard. It shouldn't drop the standard.
Well, thank God for the internet, thank God for social media, because in those days, business used to be person to person, face to face, but now with social media, you can be in Garaki here and be talking to somebody in France.
Exactly.
This is why an average business person, if you want to be an exporter, you cannot run away from technology. You need to have social media accounts. You need to have a website, because when you're dealing with big boys across the world, they need to see how serious you are. They'll say, if you want to export, you cannot afford $10 websites. So please get a website, be professional in your processes, upload lots of videos, images of what you do, especially women-based business, women and youth-led businesses. It has a lot of attention across the world. So Keep doing that, and then before you know, somebody in Germany, in whatever, will notice you and say, oh, I like that product. Okay, then they will interact with you, and then you can take little baby steps, and before you know, you become a large-scale exporter.
As we wrap up this conversation, what message do you have for everyone seeing you and listening to you for the first time, especially on this topic on exports?
Export is a journey that I encourage every Nigerian to get on board, and you don't have to be big to be an exporter. First, understand the products you have, do a lot of research, get a lot of trainings, get a lot of understanding of your products, and before you know it, you start moving forward in that journey, and before you say Jack Robinson, you start exporting. So Nigeria has a potential. Nigeria will be great again, and of course we all have to work together with the government to make export possible. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Engineer Onosaya, for this taking us through this conversation and exposing the things we didn't know about it. I mean, taking the baby steps, you can start from where you are and grow and get that standard that the world deserves, that the world wants, and of course your products will be everywhere, will go viral. Thank you for coming on the show this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And on that note, is a wrap on this conversation. When we come back, let's take a breather. When we come back, the show continues. Please keep it here.
You're welcome to another wonderful episode of the #1 program for women by the women in life.
I learned it in art class in school, but they only taught us the basic of crocheting in school, and I was very interested and fascinated by it.
And for the women, you know, let us talk from our own part of the world. You are a woman, there is so much expectation.
So it's on that very lovely and light note, I want to thank you for being with us. And tune in same time, same station next week on your #1 station, Channel 5 of Abuja. Today is Tuesday, the time is 7:30.
Okay, so welcome back from that break. This is still Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. So today is World Hepatitis Day, and joining us is a doctor, a medical doctor, to have this conversation on World Hepatitis Day. Good morning, doctor. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Let's talk about World Hepatitis Day. We keep hearing hepatitis. What is hepatitis? Let's start from that.
Okay. So generally, from the basic point of view, hepatitis means the inflammation or the disease of the liver, and it can be caused by different causes or factors, ranging from alcohol to genetic factors. Then the most common ones we have around are the infectious causes, the viral causes. We have the viral hepatitis, which we have A, B, C, D, and E. So when these viruses end up causing disease to the liver, inflammation of the liver, this is known as viral hepatitis. Or if in general, if we don't want to pinpoint a particular cause, we just call it hepatitis. But then when we want to pinpoint to the root cause, then we name it by what is responsible for a viral hepatitis. If it's alcohol, we call it alcohol liver disease or something. Yes.
Okay, you mentioned hepatitis B. It seems it's the most famous amongst them.
Yes.
Is it like as famous as it is also the most dangerous?
Yes, so to say. Just as I mentioned previously, there are five major strains of hepatitis, A to E. The A, D, and E, they are usually the milder forms, the acute forms, and most of them, even without treatment, our immune system is able to fight them off.
Okay.
But when it comes to the B and the C particularly, these are the chronic types, which are very, very dangerous strains of viruses that are able to cause serious liver damage and even progress to cancer if not detected early and treated.
Is that hepatitis B, is it also the one that shows in the eyes?
Yes, yes. When for those that, because the liver is a really massive organ, and sometimes hepatitis B sometimes is also known as a silent killer. So because before the person begins to come up with symptoms, the virus must have done a lot of damage before you begin to
show in the eyes,
yellowness of the eyes, pain, abdominal pain, and all other kind of symptoms.
Okay, let's talk about the is it curable, as dangerous as it sounds, especially that B and C?
Okay.
It seems they belong in their own category.
Okay, talking about cure, as I said before, like the A, the D, and the E,
they go away on their own.
Yes, but when it comes to the B, we can't say B is entirely curable, but it's not curable for now. But there are medications, if it's detected early, there are medications that can be used
to manage
and suppress it. But when it comes to the C is also very potent and dangerous, but there are medication courses that you can undergo and it can be completely cured.
Okay.
But B, not now.
Not for now.
No, for now.
Okay, yes. What are the signs, clinical signs of this hepatitis B? Now, we know when somebody has malaria, you have fever most times, headache, catarrh. This one, how does this show? Because you mentioned that before it gets to that eyes, it means it must have been doing some underground work in somebody's body. So what are the symptoms that some people will see and say, hey, I need to see a doctor?
Okay, for most people, as I said before, they might not show symptoms, but as the disease progresses and damages more of the liver, they begin to come up with common symptoms, like which some people can dismiss as just malaria and the common typhoid, so to say. They can come up with fever, headaches, body pain, and they can have abdominal pains, vomiting, and then by the time it progresses to damage the liver more, you come up with yellowness of the eyes. For some people, they can even have if change in urine color. Yes. So if it progresses to cancer, some people could experience weight loss, dizziness, weakness, and other symptoms. Yes.
So when not treated, it can progress to other, like you just mentioned, cancer.
Yes.
Now, is it transferable? If a member of the family has hepatitis B, is this something the remaining people should be worried about?
In fact, yes. And that is the reason why hepatitis B and C, they are very, very dangerous, because they can be transmitted. Unlike the E, the D, and the E, which are mostly through maybe contaminated water and food. This one, B, hepatitis B, is very much transmitted through unsafe sexual practices from mother to child, those that abuse drugs and other similar, though maybe even we that are working in the hospital, we are not also safe, because if you handle the blood product of someone that is infected, you are at risk, or you prick yourself with a needle, yes. But rest assured, we know that it cannot be, you must come in contact with the blood product or secretion of the person, but it cannot be transmitted through maybe eating, sharing food.
I wanted to ask if sharing of cup and spoon should be avoided.
No.
If a member of the family is down with it.
No. But sharing personal items like maybe clippers, razor blades, and other ones, yes.
Are there things we need to do to prevent it, preventable measures, basically?
Okay. In fact, that is I like the question, because the World Hepatitis Day, as we are marking it today, 28th of July, is the day that was specially chosen to mark the discovery of the hepatitis B, yes, after the person, Dr. Baruch Bloomberg, that discovered it. And since then, the WHO has adopted it to mark it as a day to spread more awareness. And do screenings. And the good news is that there are vaccines.
There are vaccines?
Yes, there are vaccines that are available. Yes, they are available to prevent hepatitis B, and some of them, if you take it properly, they can confer prevention up to 90%. Like the national program for immunization incorporates vaccination for children starting at birth. They are giving
against hepatitis.
Yes, against hepatitis B. They are giving at birth and subsequently 6 weeks and so on. Okay, and then adults too, they have the vaccines which they can take once they are tested and they are negative.
Okay.
Then they will be given the vaccine. Yes.
So this vaccine, somebody that has come down with it, will it do much for the person?
And if you've come down with it, then they tested you and you already have it, then there's no need for the
vaccine. So the vaccine is like preventive.
Yes, it's preventive.
So how can Nigerians have access to it? Where do we go to? Is it everybody? Should we march to the hospital now and go for the vaccine, or what will you advise?
Yes, for every Nigerian listening to us now, we urge and advise everyone to first of all get tested.
You must be tested.
Get screened. And the screening methods are relatively cheap and affordable. Okay, you can get checked, and then if you test negative, you can. So for some people, they can go ahead and do blood tests to further confirm. And when you are negative, you can go to. For children, as I said, is free. You just go there with your baby. The child is given the vaccine. But for adults, you have to pay. Except maybe
for adults, you have to pay for the vaccine.
Yes, except there are some centers that choose to
do
it for free. Then you have to go there. It's given over 6 months. You take the yes, the first dose. Then you take the second one after 1 month. Then the last one over the course of 6 months. Yes, but there are other vaccines that are coming up that have shorter courses. They are not up to the 6 months. Yes.
Okay, so we should go and be tested.
Yes.
Today now.
Yes, please.
Based on this awareness.
Yes.
Okay, doctor. So as we wrap up this conversation, you've already given your message. We want you to give more message. What's like a bye-bye message concerning this hepatitis B again?
Okay. So to Nigerians listening to us on this special day, World Hepatitis Day, your health is one of your greatest, is your wealth. Let me say so. It's your wealth. It's someone that is alive that can walk and
create wealth.
Yeah, create wealth. Okay. So hepatitis B is a very dangerous disease. In fact, some texts say it's more dangerous than HIV. Yes. So because of the rates at which the virus multiplies and destroys the liver and can even lead to cancer. So prevention, they say, is better than cure. So all it can take you is just few hours. You march to a hospital, get screened, and then if you are negative, you start the course of the vaccine. And if peradventure you are tested positive, it's not a life sentence. Yes, you can be managed appropriately and you can still live a healthy life.
Yes. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming to talk to us concerning this World Hepatitis Day. It means everyone should get tested. If you're negative, you take the vaccine. Good news, according to the doctor, there is vaccine. So on that note, is a wrap on this segment. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming on the show.
us to say our goodbyes on the program. As usual, I remain your host, the most Day with Erese, and I'll always be here with my bestie.
Je m'appelle Oguntayo Olamposi Justina.
Speaking French now, from Jordan to Sweden.
Adios.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just joining, Good Morning Abuja is on your screen on NT Channel 5 Abuja. It's an illness that Channel 5 Abuja it's an illness that everyone needs to be aware of. So this feature is highlighting what it's all about and prevent from it.
Medical experts define hepatitis as an inflammation of the liver caused mainly by viral infections, and the disease often shows no symptoms in its early stages, and many people are unaware they are infected until serious liver damage occurs. Dr. Igbiti Justice adds that the virus spreads through contact with infected blood and body fluid, mother to her baby, during childbirth. He warns that liver damage is worsened by excessive alcohol use and exposure to harmful substances. However, vaccination provides effective protection against hepatitis B, while hepatitis C can now be cured with appropriate medication. But how much do people know about this condition, and how often do they go for screening? Observed annually on July 28, this year's World Hepatitis Day highlights the need for increased awareness, routine screening, vaccination against hepatitis B, and access to treatment to reduce preventable deaths.
Indeed, World Hepatitis Day is worth creating awareness. So we'll still be here for you. Stay here with us.
As my dreadlocks are longer, I know say right now my time, I no go waste them rara. I go use them dada. Innocent in a bastard. I receive I'm jeje. So if I do you wrong, I apologize. For the people who they sympathize, I gotta go make them larger.
So someone was asking me, which is your favorite song right now in Nigeria? I was like, our Livo, Nigeria artists, they're doing so well. It's so difficult to actually say, I love this, I love that. The songs that are banging and vibing are my favorite, just like this one you've just enjoyed now. Thank you very much for that music. So nice, and I'm sure you've danced a little, you've checked your body. Now it is time for us to take our favorite segment. One of my favorite segments, actually, What the Kids Can Do. This is a segment that shows the creativity of our young.
Okay, so let's get these ingredients. 3 bananas. So that's your spoon. You want to hold it with that butter. 1 tablespoon of baking soda. This teaspoon of baking soda. Mix too. A pinch of salt. That's enough. A half or a full cup of sugar. Sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Oh no. That's okay. Let's dump it in. Mix it. 1 large egg. I'm so scared. Oh, your spoon. Now since the doughs are done, let's get our baking cups all ready. Now I'm gonna get these scooping. Get this out. Get some of the dough. Ooh, sorry. Okay, we're ready to put it in the oven. Let's see. Oh, Safari, I can't wait to eat these. Me too. Oh, we can't forget the whipped cream. We put some in this bag so we can squeeze it on. Squat, I'm gonna go first. That's enough. Okay, my turn. All right, my turn. All around, so it's nice and yummy. Swirl and swirl. Really nice looking stuff. My brother did this one. You have the white robe. It looks like you're doing a face. Yes, it looks like a hat. It looks like Bobo.
With what they love doing is going to do you good as a mother. It's going to do you good as a father, as a guardian. Yes, I'm very sure of that. Thank you very much for that creativity display. I totally love it. I love it every time I see this creativity. I just say, wow. Gone are those days where parents will say, I think gone are those days where parents will say, I want my child to be a doctor. Parents are beginning to support what their children love. Yes, they have beginning. They are now catching, will I say catching the, let me not use the word, well, they are beginning to support them, and it's very beautiful. It is time for us to check out what the weather is saying. We don't even understand the rains in Abuja again. It will look as if it's going to rain, like this morning. The next thing, it ceases, but the weather will just be cloudy and cold. Let's see what the weather updates it's all about this morning. So by this weather forecast, you know what to do. You know how to plan your day. You know where to go. You know the kind of clothes to wear. Actually, the weather should influence the kind of thing you wear. Yes. For instance, if you want to wear white and it starts raining, I don't think you should wear white again. I don't know. It's choice. But for me, if I wanted to wear white and it starts raining, I'm not going to wear white again, because you know how rains are now. You can't really ascertain what will happen, where you go to and all that. So with this, it's a wrap on Good Morning Abuja this morning. I want to thank our guests that came through this morning, that educated us on very important matters. Thank you very much. We love it. We enjoyed it. We learned from it. It's so good. Thank you. And for you that have woken up with us this morning, thank you very much. I'm wishing you a great day ahead, a blessed week, and have a fantastic day. My name is Uloma Ibe. Thank you for being here with me. Have a great day ahead.